Hey, this is Jim. It's 10:37 a.m. in San Francisco, California on May the 23rd. Please note that all discussions, analysis, and information presented are for general informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or any other form of professional advice. So we're about to head into two zones of strength here intraday. You can see the note here, 523 zone of strength into 11:35 a.m. PST. This is a small degree zone of strength coming from my lower level fractals. So nothing tremendous, but the reason it's important is because if we're about to do what I think we're about to do and take off to the upside, um, the bigger picture bullish influences should allow the market to lift even on small intraday zones of strength like this. So this is actually pretty important. We have the zone of strength here into, like I said, about 11:35 a.m. PST here today. We've got some overnight strength in my 24-hour model, and then we've got this strength tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. PST on the 24th. You guys can see where we have a little bit of a dropout here. This actually, the trajectory here also is exactly what you want to see. I know that looks like it's straight up vertical, which it basically is, but that's what you want to see down at these turning point lows prior to a potential, re-entry into a melt-up fractal. You guys know, if you followed me for a while, that there's nothing more important than taking a look at price trajectory off of turning point highs and lows. So in this case, what we didn't want to see is a little small reversal and a bunch of just sloppy, choppy action. We wanted to see this. So, based on behavioral analysis, everything I've studied, and I've, studied the market back to 1924-ish, the Dow in great detail. And what you always see actually is the personality of a price move is set up off of this. So if you think of it as being a child, this is sort of its birth. And then, a lot of children, you can see certain personality traits when they're very young. And then later on in life, they tend to repeat. So what this means is in between corrective legs, so either corrections to the downside or consolidation type correction moves sideways, when you return to upside price movement, it should follow the basic trajectory of this first leg up. So if you want to sort of shoot a line through the middle of this sort of channel right here, and then you pull this over, you want to see sort of at least that sharp of a move or sharper. So in this case, this is tracking more along the lines of this first leg up here. If we sort of go like this, I'll show you guys what this looks like real quickly. So you guys see how steep that is? So this is what, and then you see how steep this one is right here. It's actually even sharper, a sharper trajectory than that first leg. So that's what we want to see. So it's really important that we start to track. If we do start to track, we can re-enter this small degree expansion and also have some nice follow through here tomorrow. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to show you guys interesting volume characteristics here. We're rising exactly like we were hoping we would. So again, if we go back to this whole wedging volume pattern right here, this is the most recent, and you can see we're passing into the apex of this sort of contracting volume pattern right here. The first excellent sign for us was that we painted this 2.9 million share green bar to paint through this 2.3 million share red bar. Again, these are 60-minute bars. And then you expect to see the spikes rising. Well, that's what we got this morning. We had a 3.621 million share. And the reason it's yellow, it's very rare, but if you look at yesterday's close of the close of the market, and then of AMC's price rather, and then this morning's first 60-minute bar close, it was exactly the same. So basically, it's a tie. It's a yellow, but more importantly, it wasn't red, and it exceeded this these volume spikes that we saw here. So, right, you see this little 2.3, 2.9, 3.6. So now we're really passing through the apex, and we should be able to start to really put some decent volume in. I would expect tomorrow to see, if not later today, tomorrow to see us exceed a 3.6 million share 60-minute bar, and then the real fireworks can start, or at least acceleration to the upside can start with any 10 million share 60-minute green bar. And so again, that would help us trend sharply higher. If we're going to melt up like we did in May, June of 2021, which could happen, but would be more likely, I believe, very tail end of May, first 2 weeks of June, we'd need to print 3 15 million share 60-minute bars in a row, all closing green. So that's what that looks like. Last quick glance at the 5-minute, and then I'll wrap this up. So here's what things look like, just for some perspective as far as triggers. And this is a complete slingshot setup, but we do need that volume to start to come in for us. The Anemoi hourly trigger is sitting here at $5.09. You can see how hard they're trying to pin this thing. So whereas they were trying to defend higher levels over the past several months, now there's something about this price level down here, very close to the $5 level, that can cause a lot of problems for them if price starts to run. So that's why they're defending it so hard. It's actually a good sign for us. So we've got this 509 Anemoi hourly trigger. If we can move through that and start to increase hourly velocity to the upside, we can attack this 525 daily trigger very quickly, and then slingshot up to this 545 retest level, put us in a good position to revisit this weekly trigger, and then again this 580. If we can start to get through some of those levels, then we can be right back on track again, even though we started to move up into the zone of strength and stalled. We can be right back on track again and move very quickly up toward this 803 monthly trigger. You guys know the rest of these price targets. Just to give you an idea about how bullish the stock is down here for me, and how many different approaches I can use to prove in my work at least that it's bullish. This note right here, a fast market move back to $9.70 based on extended bottoming count. What that means is within this 5-minute price bar fractal, I have this proprietary bottoming and topping count that I track. There's a certain trigger level that tells me when to start counting, and then each incremental lower low that the price can shop to, that is another count within the sequence. It's not like DeMark, but DeMark has something that's probably most similar to what I do, although he uses gaps and things like that. Anyway, if a stock moves through the bottoming count and then continues to extend to the downside, I have this very dead simple rule that price, once it starts to move back up, that it will move very, very quickly back to the old where the stock was supposed to have bottomed before it was manipulated. In this case with AMC, that's $9.70. So again, we have this pretty tight 3-trigger cluster here, and in the Anemoi terminal, it's about 10%. We can slingshot through that, fill this air pocket, and then again, this 970 is something that I use all the time as just sort of a reversion trade, scalping or swing trade type bogey. So we have tons of reasons for this thing to take off. We'll see if some volume can come into the stock later today, and then especially, like I said, on the 24th and 25th is when we can really start to pump the volume. That's it from my side. Good luck, you guys.